read your story and I was riveted. I just couldn't stop reading about what happened. You're a pretty amazing guy. How old were you when you joined up, and why did you decide to join?
At 19.
So you were 19 when you joined.
Yeah.
And what made you join up?
What made me join it? The war broke out. And naturally, I was in school yet. I still had a couple more months to go. But it was another fella, and it was 5 of us really together uptown one day. This one fella there, his father was in the Navy, World War I would imagine. And he said, "Hey, how about joining the Navy?" Well, I was all for it, and then the other guys were too. And the reason I was for it, because when used to go to the movies over in Red Bank, they used to have the news on first, and the first thing they had on there was these big battle wagons coming down. I always said when I was a kid, boy, if I ever had to get in the service, I'd like to be on one of those. I had no idea they were all sunk over there in Pearl Harbor at the time. So naturally, I never got to go on no battle wagons. But that's the reason I wanted to go in. If I were to go in anything, it was the Navy, yeah.
Did you come from a fairly large family?
No, I have 2 sisters.
2 sisters.
Yes.
And your mom and dad at the time?
And mother and dad, yeah.
So how did you feel? You were a young guy. You told me you were 19. How did you feel leaving your family?
I really, I can't tell you how I feel. I mean, I wasn't afraid or anything like that. Just something I knew I had to do, and that's what I did.
So do you think you felt sad, or do you think you were just a young guy, you were kind of raring to go?
I just figured I was a young fella that I had to go because we were in a war with somebody I didn't even know who we were with, the Japs. And really I didn't even know what Pearl Harbor was, but I knew it was part of the United States, so I had to go. I was the right time.
How about, so you were, I guess, tell me about, you were pretty patriotic, weren't you?
Oh yeah, I didn't want nobody to take us around, that's for sure.
So how'd you feel about your country back then? And now?
Well, yeah, I really loved it. I mean, I had a good life coming up as a kid, even though we were poor and all that, and depression and all that kind. But if you wanted to make a nickel or a quarter or something, you could always make it. So, to me, as long as I had a quarter or a half a dollar that I didn't have to ask parents for, I was happy. Yeah.
So you were right here in the good old USA, and you could go out and
right,
do what you needed to do.
I'd do what I needed to do. Right.
Let's see if I can have you think back to when you were leaving, and I'll ask you the question I've already asked you how you felt. Now, how do you think your parents and your sisters, and how do you think they felt about you going away?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Really, I didn't have no idea. No.
Okay.
They let me go. I mean, there was no, are you sure, or anything like that. When I went home and told them, and they agreed.
So you're in the service, you're in the Navy. What kind of training were you given?
Okay. The training, we went to Newport, Rhode Island. And them days, you were only there for maybe 3 weeks or something like that, or a month at the most. And all they taught us in there was, they needled you to death out in parade ground, and they showed us how to make a square knot, and they had a wooden chip. They told us what port and starboard was. That's about it.
3 or 4 weeks. So how well prepared to fight did you feel after only 3 or 4?
I wasn't, but I didn't even realize it.
So you thought you were gung-ho ready to go, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you've already answered this next
But
question.
I didn't know what I was going to go on or anything like that. When we were finished with boot camp, how we got aboard the Juneau was they go by alphabetical order, and there was 38 guys who were going to go on the Juneau, and they're all in the H's. Well, this fellow that was a friend of mine, his name was Charlie Hayes. So and he was naturally H. He was the first one was picked somewhere, and I was Holmgren, and I was one of the last one of the 30. And here we are. We joined the Navy together. Now we're on the same ship together. So we were really happy on that, which turned out not too good.
You felt good about going to war before you started your training?
Well, I felt good at I had enough guts to go. Yeah.
Enough guts to go.
Yeah.
So you were a tough kid.
No.
No?
No.
While you were at war,
Yeah.
did your views change? How'd you feel?
You know something? I thought about that many a times, and I can't say that I was really scared, but I know I was scared a little bit. But I had it. I was all right. I could go to my battle station. I had to do exactly what I had to do, and I was always. And my battle station was down below in the magazine room, so I got to see nothing. Down there, you don't see nothing. All you do is hear the guns going off and that.
So what was that feeling like? You're all the way down there.
With two decks below.
What do they call
Well,
it?
at
Below?
first it was all right until the time we got hit, and then that was different because it knocked us down, and the fire extinguisher broke, and them fire extinguishers had that white foam come out. We thought the water was coming in. We had to get out of there up to the next level up. Now I was scared because I can't even swim, and I had to make sure that I got a life jacket because I didn't know what happened yet. And when we got up there, the guys were putting life jackets on. They didn't know because everything was off on the ship. It was dark and everything. But I grabbed a life jacket and had it on. But we waited around, and soon the fire guys came around, and they told us what happened. We got hit with a torpedo in the #1 fire room. And thank God, because, not thank God, I shouldn't say thank God because those guys got killed. But if it hit anywhere else, I wouldn't be here talking to you now. Because that ship was built just for ammunition, a little bit of supplies, and that's it.
So the ship was hit, and all of a sudden you were pretty scared. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah, but we didn't know what was going on. In fact, we didn't even know what we were shooting at. This was 1 o'clock in the morning. As I was going, and that's another thing. I was a captain's orderly aboard that ship.
What does that mean?
Captain's orderly. I was up there, and by his, when I was on duty, by his door, and I had to run errands for him and that. So I happened to be that was something else, on duty this day in Guadalcanal, and he told me, he relieved me about in the afternoon, late in the afternoon. Told me I should go down and get some rest. We'd be up tonight. But he didn't tell me what. And the good thing, he didn't tell me what. These Jap ships that they knew were coming in to do the same thing that we were doing. And we were there to meet them. And that's what we did. We met them. I thought that we were being bombed by the plane. I couldn't understand how I heard this boom, boom, boom. And 1 o'clock in the morning, planes were bombing us. But what happened, we went right in the middle of these Jap ships. We were so close to the Jap ships that they couldn't get their guns down below the water line with their big guns. Everything on top side, every ship got hit. Like the San Francisco, from the stern to the fantail, everything on the top side was shot. Everybody was killed but one man on the San Francisco. But ours, we didn't get hit that way. We just got hit with the torpedo. They really didn't know until we got up on top. They let us come up on top side. When we got out of the action, they let us come on top side, and the guys were telling us they were up there what happened. And we, between these ships, you could throw potatoes and that and hit them. And we could see them over there still firing too.
But you got through that.
But we got out of it. Yeah, we were lucky. At that time, we were lucky.
And then later on, you were torpedoed.
Later on, the next day, in the daytime, what was left of the fleet was. We met with the first go to Helena, a couple of destroyers, 2 or 3 or 4, I don't know which.
Must have been horrible.
It was. Well, it was then. I was really bad. I was really scared then. In fact, when we were up on top, we were in a lagoon, and the jungles were on both sides of it. We were just whispering because we didn't know if the Japs were over there on the land or not. They would just be shooting at us, but they wasn't. But anyway, the next day when we met the ships and that, what was left of the fleet, we were sitting back there when we had to go down and clean up. Then we came back up again, and we were talking, and this is the truth. We were talking, and we were talking about going back maybe to Pearl Harbor, maybe into the States, because we had that torpedo that blew us up. So we happened to look and we see there's 3 life rafts laying flat on they were tied down to the deck of the ship back where we were out in the fantail. And we said, I don't know who was saying it, but we said, man, if this ship goes down, we're in bad shape. Those rafts ain't going to get off. So anyway, somehow we untied them. I don't know who untied them or anything like that. And thought nothing more of it. And then just before that, a doctor and some pharmacists mate went aboard to San Francisco in a whale bat to help their wounded over there. And it was around about 11 o'clock, somewhere around there. Me and I was the last one to come aboard, but there was 38 of us, you know. I think they told me to go up to get sandwiches, but I'm not too sure. It was either that or I was going to go see Charlie. I doubt that, because I wouldn't be able to leave that position where I was at. And I guess it must have hit again, because I seen it the first time, the smoke and everything. And as I did, my hand hit a life jacket. I had no life jacket on then because you didn't have it on. Somehow I got it around me. When I got it to my feet, I held on to the 20mm gun mount. The ship was up about like that. And I remember feeling some things on my back sliding by, and I looked back and I didn't see nothing on the fantail. I didn't see nothing. And then all of a sudden I heard the roar of the ocean coming. I said, I'm going to die. That's what it was. And I went down, and I don't know how far down I went. I had no idea. I was dead as far as I was concerned. If I never came up, it would have made no difference to me in my life. You know? And the next thing I know, here I come shooting up out of that water.
Wow.
And then when I got to the top, there was fuel oil and that, and I heard these guys talking, hollering. And I looked over, and the guys were on the raft already. I just come through that water. They were on the raft. And they're quite a little ways away from me. And I said, come get me. And they said, no, you come over there with us. We can't come over there to you. As it turned out, they had about 75 to 100 guys got off of that ship. I don't know how the hell I was the last one to come up there like they did. But anyway, I made my way over to the raft. And do you know, only 3 rafts got off of that ship. The ones we inside back there. Only 3 rafts and cork nets got off. But they had everything tied down to the ships too. I don't understand that. We wouldn't be here again if we didn't untie those 3 rafts. I'm telling you.
So and, that's why, because they were tied down, people didn't get off.
No, I guess they was afraid when they shoot the guns they would blow up or something. I don't know, but it was a bad idea. I'll tell you that. It was our idea. We saved our lives there. We were out in the raft for 7 days. I mean, all these guys, 100 guys, all of them lost their lives, but 10 of us, because they didn't even come over there and check us out. The ones the ships were there, they were only about a couple 100 yards away from us, and they left us out there. And the guys, when I heard the guys hollering, the ships are leaving us, they said, now they'll come. The guys were saying, now they'll come back and pick us up. They took off, and nobody came back. Plane came the next day. Dropped a rubber boat, 3 guys got on. Nobody came. 7 days we were out there.
So
and in 7 days, maybe 100 more guys probably passed. So only 10 of us survived out of that crew.
So you saw the ships leave. They left you there.
Yeah.
So what could be going through your mind?
Because we thought they were going to come back and pick us up for sure. That they left and they didn't come back. And then this Army plane came, and he came low. He dropped this rubber boat, which an officer and 2 guys finally got in it and tried to make land, and they did make land. And still, nobody came in, not even that plane. Any day we were left out there, and in the meantime, 6, 7 days, these guys were really hurt bad. They were dying. You had to drop them off in the water. And the guys were starting to go out of their heads, and the sharks were there because they were eating the guys. Naturally, that was terrible. And you could see the shark going around, but these guys go out of their heads. They didn't make no difference to them. I had a guy who was sitting on my lap with a guy, had a shoulder bit, and the next thing I know, he took off. I don't know any of these guys' name because it was too short of a time. It was on because we have over 700 men, and you're lucky if I know 2 or 3 men. But anyway, we finally eight of us tried to make land. They asked for, at the end there, if anybody was in good health. And I volunteered to go, and they called me, and I went with them. And the first night, the guy jumped off. The nighttime, he went. Then the captain, the lieutenant we had, he jumped off. And then maybe the day that we got picked up, if there was it was eight of us all together, and there was only six of us left now. This one guy, first thing in the morning, and I have never seen anybody get bit with a shark. I never seen it. This kid jumped off, and damn, I could see these sharks hit him like the first time I seen him. If he just stayed on there that afternoon, he would have been alive too. But that's the first time I seen a shark take a guy.
What was that like?
Oh, it's terrible, man. But at them days there, I mean, at that time there, all you're thinking about is yourself. Where's something coming? But that afternoon, finally, the PBY came over, and we thought that was going to miss us too, but he finally seen us. And they picked us up.
You were on the island at that point.
There was only 5 of us left at that time. So that was 5 of us, and they found the other 2 rafts. We had under 3 rafts. One guy was on each one of those, but made 7, and those 3 guys in the rubber boat made it land. There was 10 of us. That was it.
So,
and they took us to New Guinea, and the Solar hospital ship was there. We got on that. They took us to Fiji Hospital. We dropped us off in Fiji Hospital, Army Hospital. And I made my way back. But on my way back, like I was going to tell you, I was on one of them tankers or whatever the heck they were. And we stopped in New Zealand. And me and this guy, we walking, they go right in. We're walking down the street, and oh, by the way, besides the 5 Sullivan Brothers, we had 4 Roger Brothers aboard. And one of them was the captain's orderly, so I knew them.
did you know all the brothers?
Well, I knew him, you know, I'm not really talking like I'm talking to you now, but I knew the one because he was a captain's orderly. I knew him getting, he knew me.
Did you know the Sullivan Brothers?
No, I didn't know the Sullivan Brothers. I did see George, the oldest one, at one time aboard ship, and but that was it. And he was back there where we were at. That's how he happened to get off too, but he was hurt. He died. But anyway, we're walking down the street in New Zealand. And who comes to walking down the street was these 2 Roger brothers. They're 2 brothers on the ship. They were gone. And when they see me, you know, we got it. And then after it was all over, they said, hey, we know somebody that knows you on our ship. I'm in New Zealand. I can't believe this on the way back. I said, who? He said, yeah, I don't know what the hell his name is. I said, well, where's the ship? Because they all come in the harbor. They come right up to the dock. I said, where's your ship at? And they were on a cargo ship. They said, right around here. If we would take me over. And would you believe he took me over there? It was my cousin from Long Branch. Yep. And a miracle, too. I couldn't believe it. Here, yeah. And of all places to meet somebody in New Zealand. Yeah. But it was good because, like I told you before, you can't write that in a letter or anything. But he could tell his mother that I was perfectly all right. What you heard. And after that is when they got the word I'm missing in action, so they knew something was wrong.
And your cousin, he was okay?
Oh, yeah. I stayed with him for the rest of the day, yeah. Yeah.
So I guess as far as being emotional, that's pretty much one of the most emotional times of your life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you were out there on the raft, and obviously it was horrible. I mean, guys were dying not just from sharks, but they were dying from wounds and burns.
Most of them.
A lot of that burns, right?
No, not the ship. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say no. Maybe they did.
I read it, but
put close to it. Could be. I don't know. But the way it blew up, was no fire or anything like that. It just blew up. I mean, it went down inside of a minute. Boom. That was it. Mm-hmm. Those rafts, they didn't have nothing on them. The only water we got really was the rainwater that came down. No food though.
So these poor guys were dying 10 at a time. So many of them, you had to throw them over, of course. And then what happened? The sharks?
Oh, the shark. Sure, the shark were right there. Just like Zook said there at one time, that one of them things did. They knew they had their supper all the time. They didn't have to attack you or anything like that. You're just waiting. But this guy, like I told you, that last guy I seen, they attacked him. I seen that. First time I ever seen it. I didn't want to see it no more. No.
A lot of them. I mean, he jumped in and boom.
Oh, yeah, he kept him here. He got a little bit away from us before they hit him. Yeah.
Where did he think he was going? Do you know?
I get out of his head. He had to be out of. You don't do it unless you're out of your head. Yeah.
Any other recollections of what it was like when that torpedo hit?
I didn't even know what happened, but it's just the whole ship blew up. You couldn't believe how it blew up right in my face.
The whole thing.
I came down and by the time I got to my feet, I was almost ready to go down with the ship. I went down with the ship. There was no doubt about that, man. No, but the first time we didn't know why it hit us. We didn't know. But when we found out, I couldn't believe it, because if that torpedo hit anywhere else, I wouldn't be talking to you now either. No.
So you went down. You thought that was the end, huh?
Oh, it was the end. I mean, if I didn't come back up again, it made no difference. I didn't even know it. I mean, I don't have no idea how far down I went before that what's going to start bringing me back up. I'm going down with the ship, what was left of the ship, the fantail. I have no idea.
I guess someone was looking over for you, whether you're religious.
Somebody was always looking after me, and I can't even swim. Lucky I got the damn life jacket. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Right, I keep
But I was on top side. I always had a life jacket on the other ship.
That's amazing. Here's a guy, one of the 10 that survived this horrible thing, and he can't swim.
Yeah. It probably saved my life. I mean, I knew I had to have a life jacket on. But I mean, it didn't. I mean, I was just plain lucky that time when it blew up. That one was there when my hand hit the deck when I came down. Nah.
What was your...
But I knew one thing. I wasn't jumping off that raft when I got on that with those sharks there. I knew that.
When you were on the ship, what did you eat? And was it true that the Navy got the gravy?
I don't know. I don't know about that, but it wasn't bad. I mean, most of it was with the powder stuff and this and whatnot, but we had good stuff once in a while too. But you,
What kind of stuff did you eat?
I tell you the truth, I can't even remember. I do remember one time that whoever the cooks and whatever, if they don't check the season and stuff, sometimes the bugs get in the damn thing. And when they do it, they have bread, they're there. And I know one thing you don't do, if you don't put it up by the light, because the master of arms comes around, you're down there picking these bugs out of the bag. So I remember that part of it. So you eat what you got. But no, it was, I liked it. There was nothing there that I really didn't like. Food and that.
Except the bugs.
Huh?
Except the bugs. So tell me just in general what your recollection, I know you have to think back way far, but what was life like on the ship before you got hit? I mean, your everyday life. What'd you do? What was it like? How'd you feel?
For me, I mean, it was something new and everything else, and I had a good job with the captain, like I told you, because right up there, the captain, he had his regular what's called cook there and everything, and if you happen to be on duty at the time when he doesn't finish his meal, or Papa would always say, "You what?" And we got some good food once in a while. There was three of us. It was captain's orderly. Yeah. So no, I enjoyed it. I really did. I wouldn't have went back out again if I didn't enjoy it. I know that.
Why did you choose to go back out again?
Well, they had me sign when I came back. Well, like I say, during the beginning of the war, they didn't have everybody was new and all that. And after you once in it, now you're not a greenhorn no more. You're supposed to be. So I guess they wanted you back out because they figured you knew more than the poor guys who were just coming in. And they assigned me to this ship before I came home on my 30-day survivor's leave, and I didn't tell my mother or my father until I was ready to leave that I was going back on this kind of a ship. But I don't know. I did it. I don't know why. But they called me and they did ask me. They asked me, and I told them, if I'm scared, you'll be the first ones to know about it. And I said, but I will not. My battle station will be on top side. It won't be down below again, because I would never be able to do that again now.
So, your mother and father, how did they feel about you going back again?
When I left, I told them when I was leaving, so really.
They had no time to feel.
No, if they had, you would have to ask them. And Father's gone. My father was in the World War I. That's how we came from Minnesota. That's how we happened to end up in Fort Monmouth over here. We stayed here in Eatontown.
What is your rank in the Navy?
Oh, I come out with a gunner's mate 3rd class. I made that on the other ship.
Mm-hmm. So at least they gave.
Well, that's what I won. I went for the gun striker. That's how I was on the Oakland. I won the gun striker, and I was up on top side. I had my own gun, 20 millimeter.
Big gun?
No, it's small. That's the last. That's the last. When they're in that close, when you're shooting that, you better do something. And right off the bat, we had a knife. Right off the bat.
What, you mean to tell me you went on the new ship and you were in battle again?
Oh man, I was in from the Gilbert's Island till we hit up there in the Mariana. Oh yeah, the first day we were there. I swear to God, 6 Jap planes come in out of the sun, hit this converted job on the other side of us, and we was firing at it, and I could feel the ship shaking like hell. When I had to, and ain't this a dog? They put a big hole in that thing, and they found out they had night fighters on. We'll have the next time. Night fighters that come out at nighttime. Well, now they sent us out because of the moonlight night. They sent us out to keep the planes away from that aircraft carrier at night. And would you believe, because I had the what's on, here comes they say they got a plane coming in. Now they ain't firing at this plane, so they haven't got him picked up. Right? He came in on our wake of our ship. Was the water was white on his way to the moon. I swear to God, came in there, and I could see that water go up. I know he dropped that. I know he dropped the torpedo. I know he did. Right on the fantail where I was on the Juneau, but he was so close it must have went under. And when he came to where we were, I was right on port side, right in the middle. I had the guy shoot. Didn't blow up, so I know damn well we didn't get him. I don't even know if any shells he made. Right off the bat, I say, what the hell am I doing out here? I swear to God. And then we went to Marshall Island, a lot of islands in that West Coast there. And Saipan, Saipan and that. That was the last one when they take that over. We had a big battle. There. I was getting headaches that time. So they sent me back to gunnery school. I never went back after that.
So you thought you were going down again, maybe?
No. I told you, there were so many ships out there. They didn't want that little ship we had. They didn't want us. They had too much big pride. That's what I was thinking all the time. Now, I mean, it's crazy thinking, but that's the way I thought of it.
Guess you were
and
right.
we never got hit. No, we didn't. In fact, I guess they went through hell after I left. I'm glad I got off because you know how the end of that war was. They were coming them suicide planes and that. I'm glad. That's one thing we didn't have one. Thank God didn't have them out there.
How do you deal with that? I mean, suicide.
Oh, that's suicide, man. You can't stop suicide now.
Kind of like these days, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't out there. I was up in Earl at that time.
As you know, they changed the rule after your ship. After the Juneau, they don't let family members go together. They didn't let family members go together anymore. What do you think? You think it was a good idea to change that rule or not?
Well, I think you can still do it. The way I understand, you can still do it. I know they said that, but AM said I don't think they would ever let 5 do it or 4 do it anymore. But pairs, I think they would let them do it. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's what you said is true or not. But they shouldn't do it, no. Absolutely. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, in fact, the Roger brothers, the last time we went out, they separated. Otherwise, you would have really been reading about something 5 and 4 in one family. But the Sullivan brothers were going to do the same thing the next time we came in. But the next time never came.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to help us produce more compelling historical content like this, please like, comment below, and share this video with fellow history buffs. And of course, be sure to subscribe to help keep history happening.